Hey guys, it's Michael here. I just wanted to give a really quick, brief lesson on how to hold the guitar. Maybe some of you are new guitarists and it hasn't yet been explained to you, and not everything is super obvious, and sometimes you will see things that we'll see some other guitarists hold their guitar in a certain way, and maybe they're just trying to be flashy and cool. And so maybe you have some questions about what is the proper, correct way to hold the guitar. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys really quick right now. So essentially, almost every guitar you'll ever see, with a couple exceptions, are going to have some sort of curve here in the bottom of the body. And if you're sitting down, that's supposed to sit on the right leg. Okay, so that's probably pretty obvious, but a couple things that might not be obvious is that, especially when you sort of see in pictures or in a video where everything has sort of been flattened out for the screen, it can sometimes look like they're holding their guitar very sort of perpendicular to the way you're facing. And that doesn't really lend itself to good playing because it kind of pushes your elbow back up and then sort of out of the way. So if you feel like you have a awkward time trying to find a comfortable position for your arm when you're playing, chances are you're holding it too straight against the angle of your body. Instead, I recommend taking the body of the guitar and angling it a little bit to the right side. And you might not even be able to notice that sometimes, but it makes a big difference. It helps you bring your arm forward and get nice curly round fingers around the neck of the guitar in a much more relaxed, comfortable position for your shoulders and your arms and your elbows. Okay, so that's the first thing that maybe not seems super obvious. Another thing is, especially as you begin to explore around the neck more and you're playing less so over towards the left side, try maybe angling the guitar up a bit. Okay, that's sort of an exaggeration, but you can see what I mean, that it allows you to, without twisting your wrist and stuff in awkward positions too much, allows you to more comfortably reach some of the higher notes. And that's also a great way to sort of angle the guitar when you're standing up, because you tend to have a strap and it sits a little lower. So bringing up the neck of the guitar will allow you to reach around comfortably. So another thing you might have seen somebody else do is play in a traditional style, which is actually where you take the curve of the body and you lay it against the left leg. Okay? And this is almost always in a sitting position. Okay? But that allows them to kind of bring up the neck of the guitar in a way that allows them to reach some of the higher notes and explore the fretboard a little easier. It also puts it in a pretty comfortable position here for the right arm to sort of anchor here against the bridge, which we'll talk about that in another lesson, but essentially kind of pushes the guitar over this way. Of course, this is a traditional sort of older way of playing, and modern players don't usually do this. It does look kind of funny sometimes. If you show up to a gig and you put your guitar on like this, everyone's going to expect you to play Spanish guitar or some classical stuff, and maybe you're into that. That's cool, go for it. But the modern new way is to place the curve against the right leg, angle a little bit, and if you need to, especially as you go up, go ahead and angle up this way. And that will allow you to find a comfortable position for your arms, for your wrists, for your fingers, which is going to make your playing a lot easier. Now, you'd think it would go without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and give a couple examples of some stuff that is not the right way to hold your guitar that I see students doing all the time. And one of those is this really sort of slouch down kind of thing, right? Where you have to bend your wrist way over to reach the fretboard. Very uncomfortable. I think this is a thing because humans are so visual sometimes that we feel like we want to see the front of the fretboard, the way we sort of see the diagrams on our sheet music and stuff. But this is really not a good way to hold the guitar. It's going to allow it to slip really easy, and then you've got this sort of like, you know, who knows? There's no way to play it that way. But sometimes when you want to see the fretboard, and it's really more of a crutch than anything, you want to learn to feel out the fretboard. So yeah, all you really need to do is see the dots on the side of the guitar. That's why we have the dots there on the very side. As you can see, this guitar doesn't even have dots on the front. When you think about it, you don't really even need the dots on the front. You shouldn't really be looking at those. If you can see those, chances are the angle here is probably a bit too much, and it's either going to slide down or just be really uncomfortable position for your wrist. Instead, I recommend really only kind of being able to see a straight line down where all the strings are sort of in line with each other, and instead learning to develop a feel for the guitar rather than seeing, using your ears and using the sensation on your fingers to kind of help you judge where you are when you're moving around rather than looking, because looking is going to be a crutch. One day you're going to be playing a different guitar that you're not used to, or you're going to be playing in a dark room, something you're not super familiar with, and your eyes are going to deceive you, and you're going to play everything wrong because you never took that time to learn how to hold the guitar in a way that allows you to maximize your ability to feel your way around and to hear your way around. Another really bad example of how to hold the guitar is when students reach over the top of the neck. You'd be surprised how many people think that that's something that you can do. A lot of times you might see some, super shredder guitarist who's showing off, right? They're playing, right, some crazy thing, and but it's actually really a horrible way to play the guitar. It's going to be super hard. Everything's upside down. The guitar is just not designed that way, and so if you play it like that, you're really just making everything harder than it needs to be. Sometimes it doesn't always feel comfortable to reach under and to hold it right, but chances are, if that's the case, if you feel uncomfortable, you're probably not really holding it right. You're probably too straight, up and awkward, or at an angle here, or some combination of all those things that's causing your wrist and your fingers and your elbow and your shoulder to be kind of awkward and uncomfortable. And that's basically it for how to hold the guitar. Some of these things might seem really obvious to you. Some of them, hopefully you learned something. Some of these things might not been super obvious. It's just a matter of having somebody tell you so that you know. So hopefully now you know.